Well, hello everyone. Lock Garden Bird Lady here, coming to you guys with a quick video. And I do have, of course, Danny here with me, and I also have Casper over here. And as you can see, well, in this video, this is a really awkward opening, but hey, we're gonna go with it. So in this video here, I want to talk about the really controversial topic of parrot wing clipping. So let's jump right into it. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. How is your day going today? I hope it's going well. If not, just hang in there. It will get better. I promise it will get better. So if this is not your first time, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you do decide to join the family and stay by hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and ringing that bell. Now, I know that you clicked on this video because I'm talking about parrots, but I talk about a lot of things in this channel. It is a very diverse channel. I talk about all types of things. I really don't even know what I'm going to talk about until I start flipping through my journal. I'm like, yeah, that's a good topic for today. But so make sure you turn on the notification bell because I will have a lot of parrot videos coming up. I have a lot of topics that I want to talk about. It takes me a long time to kind of get through some of these topics, but if you can just sit back and bear with me, then I promise you there will be some good information, because I do post all of my videos with the intentions of being informative. Maybe you can learn something from me, maybe I can learn something from you down in the comment section below. So if you feel like I got something wrong, I mean, I'm human, I do get things wrong sometimes, but or if you feel like I left something out, you have something that you want to add, please comment down below. Feel free. Again, turn on that notification bell so you won't miss any of my parrot center videos. So with that being said, I've done this video a few times, and I always ended up getting like a little upset in the video, and I always just try to shorten it so much that I leave a lot of it down. But this is just going to be a long video, so you saw how long it was before you clicked on it. Just get you some popcorn, some chicken, some turkey, coffee, juice, water, whatever you need to get through this video. But get you some snacks and just sit back and relax and just enjoy the video. Now, I do want to ask that you watch the video in its entirety, because I'll probably contradict myself a few times in this video, because as you can see, Danny, as he showed you guys in the beginning of the video, is flighted. Casper is flight trained, but he was clipped a year ago, and he almost has all of his wings back. Danny, even though he is flighted, he still isn't fully flight trained, but both of them are harness and flight suit trained. So like I said, with having one clipped parrot and one parrot that's not clipped, it is very difficult. I'm sorry, I don't let him and Danny be around each other because Casper's so much bigger than Danny. Casper's never showed any aggression to anything or anybody, but you know, I just don't like having them around each other because of the size difference. So that's why I have them on two different sides. But with that being said, let's just jump into this video. Now, when people ask me about how I feel about clipping parrots' wings, I always say, why would you want to clip your parrot's wings? Because we all have different reasons for clipping. For instance, Casper was clipped because we moved to a new area. Even though he's completely flight trained, we moved to a new area, and where we were before, it was more of a rural area. But now we're more in a urban area where I can literally walk to Walmart from my house. I have walked to Walmart. I have walked to Kroger from my house. Not that we don't have cars, but it's just to get some exercise, and I just want to go get something really simple, really small that I can carry back home. I just walked to Walmart. Done it several times before. And that's just to let you know how close we are, how deep we are in the city. There was no way that I can walk to Walmart from my other house, just to let you know the difference. So when we moved over here and I began to see the neighborhood, knowing that Casper has had the past that he's had, you know, sometimes, and he still gets really nervous. He's come a long way, but he still gets really nervous and he can still freak out sometimes. So I'm like, okay, what if something happens and he gets into a tree or he gets into a pole or on top of a building, and even though he's flight trained, You know, sometimes we can know how to do something. We can be trained on how to do something. But when nerves and adrenaline kicks in, our training can go completely out of the window. So I said I wanted to really get him used to this area first, walking around the area with him and just retraining him in the area around our current settings that before I decide to let his wings fully grow out again. Now, I would never let either of them fully I would never let either of them fully free fly. It's always going to be, don't get my glasses, it's always going to be on what I use here, I like to use the aviator harness here. And I use the lease extension for the aviator harness as well. I am going to be retraining since the spring has come in. I'm going to be reflight training Casper to get him familiar with flight and where we are now. So if you want to, I'm going to do a series of training videos of how I train him. So if you want to stay tuned for that, make sure you hit that description box below. But so that is the reason for having Casper flight clipped. Now Danny, he never goes outside unless he is covered. I have a backpack which I cannot find. I probably have to order another one. I have a backpack that I use when I go hiking that actually is like a cage, and I put a picture of it over here. And so thank you. So what was I saying? I may have to put them up because I can't stay focused. But I do have a backpack that I use for Danny. And the reason that I do not allow Danny... Come on, boo. That's not your side. Thank you. The reason I do not allow Danny to fly outside or be outside without a covering is because we have, even though we're in the city, we have really bad hawks in my area. My husband came in one day and he was like, don't take the birds back outside. There's a hawk. And every time Danny makes that noise, the hawk actually looks at the back door. So there's a hawk that actually stations right outside of my house. I actually have a video of him. Usually he's a lot closer to the house right by the back door, but I'm going to show you what happens. I had the birds outside in their cages, cleaning their cages out, and the hawk actually just stationed outside. And whenever Casper sees this hawk, he begins to scream because he knows what it is. I don't worry about Casper as much. I don't worry about Casper as much because of his size, but whenever he sees the hawk, he begins to scream, and you'll see that in this video, so check that out. Alright, so that's why I would never just let them fly on their own without being on the harness, and I won't let Danny fly at all. What are you looking at? You're looking at the love you, love you, love you, love you. You're looking at the ceiling fan. But anyway, that's why I won't let them fly on their own. But let's get into this video. I think I rambled long enough. So I always say that if you want to clip your parrot, you shouldn't clip your, I mean, do what you want to do. It's your parrot. I mean, it's your parrot. I'm not one of those people to say, you know, you're not a good parrot owner if you clip your parrot's wings. I hate that comment. I hate people. I don't hate people, but I hate when people say that, because I listened to that. When I got my first son conure, his name was Charlie. I don't know if you've been following me for a while, you remember Charlie. He ended up flying away. So I did not clip Charlie just because people said if you clip your parrot, you're a bad parrot owner. Regardless of what I did for my parrot, in those people's eyes, I was a bad parrot owner, and I didn't want to be labeled as a bad parrot owner. So I didn't fully understand what the big deal was about being clipped, because whenever I took him to the vet, you know, the vet will always brag about how healthy he was. and you know how happy he was and what a good job I was doing. And I'm like, okay, if clipping is so bad, then why hasn't the vet said anything? When I purchased him, he was clipped. So I didn't really understand what the deal. I thought that if you had a bird that lived indoors, they were supposed to be clipped. That's all I knew. I was ignorant to it. And so I began to be in these Facebook groups, the same thing that happened with the lock group. I was in these Facebook groups and I would post pictures of my parrot Charlie, and people would freak out about him being clipped, and I didn't understand. And they would, you know, say things like, you know, I was taking the easy way out, I was a bad parrot owner. By the way, let me address that. When people say that people who clip their parrots' wings are taking the easy way out because they don't want to flight train, they don't want to harness train, let's go ahead and debunk that myth now. So even though Casper is clipped, he is still harness trained. Yeah. Let's do a montage. How about that? So that debunked that whole myth about people who clip their parrots' wings. They don't want to harness train their parrots. Now, I do want to say that even if your parrot is clipped, still harness train your parrot, because a clipped parrot can still fly away. The right breeze, the right time of day, a clipped parrot can still fly away. So if you're clipping your parrot's wings in hopes that they won't fly away, no. They can still fly away. There are plenty of clipped parrots who have flown away. So the biggest issue that I have is with those parrot owners who say, "Are you what?" I know he's tearing up my shoe. He's telling on Casper. I know he's tearing up my shoe. It's okay. It's an old shoe. I got it so he can just. I don't even wear these shoes. I just put it on my feet so it'll have something to distract him. Okay. Yeah, he likes to tell on Casper. Whenever Casper starts kind of chewing on something, Danny just kind of freaks out like, "You're not supposed to be doing that. Stop it. That's my mom's shoe." But I have like an old pair of flats and I keep them clean. And whenever I'm doing a video and I just need to keep him distracted, I would just put them on my feet and he sits on my legs and just destroy the shoes. I don't wear these shoes. So I don't want you to think that he's eating trash off shoes. No, these are shoes that I don't wear. They are specifically for Casper's enjoyment. But so what I don't like is I don't like people who try to bully people into not clipping their parrot's wings. I was bullied into not clipping my parrot's wings, and as a result, I wasn't given all the information that I needed. I didn't know what else I was supposed to do. I just thought, okay, don't clip your parrot's wings. I didn't know anything about flight training, recall training. I didn't know anything about that. But with that being said, my parrot ended up flying away. Nobody's fault but mine, because I could have done more research and learned about it. But all I knew is that my parrot's wings were clipped. So I want to address the anti-clippers out there who says things like, you know, you're not a good parrot owner, you're lazy, you're taking the easy way out, you are and I absolutely love this couple. I'm not going to put their name out there, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I absolutely love this couple. I love this young lady. I can say probably maybe 80% of the behavior issues and how to deal with behavior issues and having such a well-trained parrot, I can say probably about, I would say 75% to 80% of what I've learned has been from this young lady. But her and her husband, they were on, I don't know if that's, I think it's her husband, they were doing a video on clipping, and they said that to clip a parrot's wings is animal abuse or something like that, and it's like clipping a child's Achilles heel. No, it's not. Because if you clip a child's Achilles heel or Achilles tendon or whatever you call it, you're disfiguring that child. When you clip a parrot's wings, you're not disfiguring that parrot. Now, you may have it confused with pinioning. And pinioning, that is where you actually remove the bone in the wing to permanently disfigure. that child, if you clip a parrot's wings, it will grow back. A lot of times, most parrots, their wings will grow back within 3 to 6 months. Most parrots, at their next molt, their wings will grow back. So I don't like when people say things like that, like you're abusing your parrot in some kind of way. No, like you're abusing your parrot in some kind of way, which you're not, because if that's what you need to do for your parrot at that time, don't feel guilty if that's what you need to do to protect your parrot at that time, because I know what it is like to have a parrot to fly away. There was another person that I actually learned a lot from. I love her, love her, love her, love her. She is very much into not clipping, but she had an accident happen and she had her parrot fly away. I love this parrot and I cried with her. I reposted her videos, I reposted her posts, just in hopes that I can help her, or someone out there can help her find her parrot. So yeah, she's a very experienced parrot owner. She's very much into not clipping, and she even lost her parrot. So I'm saying all this to say, don't let someone else pressure you into doing something that you're not ready to do with your parrot yet. If your parrot has a good diet, if you take care of your parrot you take your parrot to the vet, if you interact and engage with your parrot. Casper's a little hormonal right now, so he has a thing when he's hormonal. He has a really bad things with my fingers and my hands, so that's why my hands are up like this, because I'm trying to get that shoe. I'm trying to keep him distracted with this shoe. And so back to what I was saying. She lost her parrot. So even if you are clipping your parrot's wings, you still need to recall train your parrot. That needs to be the number one goal, is regardless of what kind of parrot you have, recall train your parrot. Now again, I will never let my parrot just free fly. It's always going to be on this leash, the avian leash. It's always going to be on this. And simply because, like I said, the hawks in my area, and I know bird tricks, they can actually go to these really open areas. I don't know where they live. They must live in like Nevada, or maybe this is a place in California. I don't know where they live. Maybe Nevada, Arizona, Utah, a really area that has really open desert areas, and there are no trees, no buildings where they take their parrots to fly. There are no places like that here where I live in Georgia. I'm a hiker, and there are no open places. There is a canyon, but it's surrounded by trees. There are no open places where my parrots can just free fly and not get stuck, not get chased by other hawks. Even the areas that I go to hiking, they are full of hawks, especially the red-tailed hawks here in Georgia. So just to let you know, I don't have an area where I can just openly free fly them without, a risk. So I will continue to fly them on the harness. I want to address a comment that is being said by anti-clippers. It's being said that you shouldn't have a parrot if you're going to clip your parrot's wings. And my first initial response was, how dare you? How can you tell someone that what they should or shouldn't have just because they choose to raise or take care of their parrot different from the way you choose to raise and take care of your parrot? No one has the right to tell someone that they shouldn't have a parrot just because they choose to clip their parrot's wings. I don't see the danger in clipping your parrot's wings as long as you also recall train that parrot. And even when you take your parrot outside, still have your parrot covered and on a harness. Now, when I take Casper outside, I don't harness him all the time when we're in the backyard. I'm going to make a change to that. I haven't in the past, because he's recall trained. So with him being clipped, he may be able to fly, but he won't be able to really get too far. But even if he gets stuck in a tree, I know that I can recall him back. But until I retrain him, I am going to start keeping him harnessed at all times outside. That's going to be what I'm going to do just for his protection. Danny, I'm never going to have him exposed, because I watch these hawks just sitting at my back door on my back porch. I watch these hawks swoop down and get native birds, like wild birds and rats and squirrels, just swoop them up out of my garden. So if it is quick, and if they can do that to a wild bird, imagine what they can do to a captive bird of this size. So I would never have him uncovered outside. And even when he is outside, he is going to be completely covered, not exposed at all. But I am still practicing recall training just in case something happens where he gets out of the house. And that's what happened with Charlie, where he gets out of the house accidentally, a door or window may be left open. I try to keep everything closed, but I don't live in the house by myself. So if my husband ends up leaving the door open or something and he gets outside, at least he'll be equipped to know how to come back to me. But back to what I was saying, criticizing others for their choices, it is ridiculous and it needs to stop. I mean, I'm 100% serious. Y'all know I have this really, kind of funny personality, but this is a serious video. So the telling others that they shouldn't have parrots just because they decide to clip their parrots' wings, that needs to stop. And it needs to stop today. Because what you're doing is, it's like having a dog. We shouldn't have parrots as pets anyway. We shouldn't have parrots as pets anyways. But it's just like having a dog. If you have a dog, you don't just let your dog run wild. You have a barrier in your yard for that dog, or there are certain leash laws that you have to have. You can't just let your dog just run free. There are where I live, there are leash laws unless you're at a dog park. And your dog has to have a certain amount of control. But you cannot just let your dog run free. So we keep them on leashes. Same thing with our parrots. No. Same thing with our parrots. We have to have some kind of control over our parrots. We can't just let them for their own safety, because if you let your dog just run free, your dog may get in the street, can get hit by a car. Same thing with our parrots. We have to protect them for our safety. We have to have them on harnesses for their safety. Even if we don't clip them, we just can't just let them just fly like that. We can't do that. Not everyone lives in an area where they can do that. That would be completely irresponsible and dangerous for me to just let Casper just freely fly in my neighborhood. No. So before you fix your mouth to say you shouldn't have a parrot because you clip your parrot's wings, understand not everyone lives where you live. Not everyone lives in the area where you live. Like, I had someone that was really hammering in and downing people who clip their parrot's wings. The next thing that I know, their parrot got lost for 2 days. And then they had another parrot who, yes, doodle. And then they had another parrot who was injured because it wasn't ready to free. Alright, so before you fix your mouth to say what a person should or shouldn't have, understand not everyone has the same experience that you have. Not everyone has the same, number one, resources that you have. Not everyone lives in the same area that you live in. So never tell anyone. I want this to really stop. Stop telling people they shouldn't have a parrot because they decide to clip their parrot's wings. If that's what's best for that parrot owner and that parrot, if that's what's best for that parrot at that time, leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Now, if you are clipping your parrot's wings for behavioral problems, that's not the right reason to clip your parrot's wings. Really not the right reason to clip your parrot's wings, because any behaviors can be trained away. Now, if you want to clip your parrot's wings while you're training them with the goal to, hi Doodoo, he is waving, with the goal to eventually, hold on one second. I don't know why I keep getting this cramp in the same foot. There you go. So if you want to clip your parrot's wings with the goal of one day having them to become flighted parrots, I'm just looking at Casper, with them one day becoming flighted parrots while you get those behaviors under control, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't believe that all parrots have to be flighted to be, happy, because I had a person that I follow, and they were very much into anti-clipping because they said that clipping made your parrots happier. But one of their parrots ended up dying. I cried with them when their parrot died, but just to give you an idea that, you know, I think the parrot ended up having like it was a liver disease. I think they ended up having. And then they found that the parrot had been plucking up under its wings. So it has some other health issues going on. So just because your parrot is flighted doesn't mean that your parrot is healthier than another parrot that's not flighted, or a parrot that's clipped, if that makes sense. So with that being said, do what is best for your parrot. Do what is best for your parrot. Don't be bullied into doing something that you're not comfortable doing, and make sure you really educate yourself on how to properly flight train your parrots, how to properly recall your parrots, harness train your parrots. Even if they are clipped, still keep them on a harness, because anything can happen. Like I said, the right breeze comes through, that parrot can be gone in a second. So just make sure you do the training that you need to do. And if you need to clip your parrot for your safety, if you need to clip your parrots for your parrot safety for the time being, feel free. You're not a bad parrot owner. You're a responsible parrot owner if you're putting your parrot first, regardless of what choice that you make. We're all different. We all have different experiences, live in different areas. So I can't tell you what to do with your parrot. I can only say just educate yourself, and your parrot's health should be first. And I do want to touch, like, even though Casper is clipped right now, it's not getting the same exercise that he was getting before he was clipped. He still gets exercise every single day. What I do is I do squats. And when I'm doing my squats, I have him on my hand. I hold his feet in my hand, and as I squat down, he flaps. So that's the time that I can spend with him, as well as he can get exercise. He can exercise his wings as well. And Danny is flighted, so he just flies around downstairs willy-nilly. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't come off too mean, but I do take this topic very seriously. And just be responsible and put your parents first. Where are you going? Where are you going? So just be responsible and put your parents first. Keep your parents first. As long as your parents are first, that's all that matters. As long as your parents are healthy, that's all that matters. And as usual, toodaloo. Bye-bye. You gonna wave bye-bye? You gonna wave bye-bye? You gonna wave hi? You too busy chewing on your toes? Alright. Bye-bye, guys. Give me a kiss. Love you.